lesson is how to express the future tense in Spanish. And by the end of it, according to my magic 8-ball, it's very likely that you will understand how to do this. So in Spanish, there are two options to express the future tense. The first one we learn in Spanish 1, and it's using the verb ir, which means to go. So you use the formula ir plus a plus infinitive. And just a reminder, an infinitive is a non-conjugated verb. So here's a little look at the verb ir in the present tense. Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. So if I want to say, I am going to eat, I would say, voy a comer. So here's some more examples. Mañana voy a estudiar. Tomorrow I am going to study. El lunes ella va a bailar con Ricky. Monday she is going to dance with Ricky. El 5 de mayo vamos a celebrar. On May 5th, we're going to celebrate. All of these translate as going to do something. In this unit, we learn the official or the other future tense conjugations. These are different than other conjugations we've learned because you don't remove the AR, IR, or ER ending. So here's the endings that you're actually going to attach to the infinitive. And that will make sense on the next slide. So it's has, a, hemos, and han. So here's a little example right here. Hablaré means I will speak. There are a few irregulars, and it might be worth taking a moment to pause the screen and write these down. I know they're presented in your unit as well, and they're ones that don't follow this chart. You have to memorize the stems of the verbs, and there are a few that pop up throughout the unit on the tests and quizzes and writing. Think of these future tense endings. You could use them like the verb ir, I am going to study, but they more directly translate to I shall or I will. And as mentioned, they look a little bit different than other conjugations because you don't remove the ending, you attach them to the end of the infinitive. So I will talk or I shall talk, hablaré, she will study, estudiará. I will study would be estudiar, estudiaré. So here's just another look, another way of what I just explained. This also might be a good picture, something to copy down for reference. So how do I conjugate? You take your infinitive, so example, hablar. You do not drop the ending. After the R, you put your new ending. So hablaré, hablarás, hablará, hablaremos, hablarán. And the nice thing about these is the endings are the same for IR, ER, and IR verbs. Rejoice! This is pretty easy. Let's look at another example. Here's a little cat sleeping. Dormir is to sleep, so dormiré, dormirás, dormirá, dormiremos, dormirán. All of these are the future tense. There's a lot of words that can trigger the future tense, so things like tomorrow, later, next week, next month, next year, next weekend, this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night are all things that can trigger future tense. Trata, you try. So here's the little chart on the side. So take a moment to try to conjugate these verbs using the new future tense. And a little hint, a reward for people that are listening to this, on the final 44 of the 100 points are just based on being able to write really basic sentences of you saying what you will or shall do using this future tense. So give this a try and then we'll check our answers. All right, so hablar, we've looked at this example already. I will talk. Hablaré. She shall swim or she will swim. Nadará. We will travel. Viajaremos. And I will say or I will tell. Notice this is irregular. So I'll find it down here. Diré. Here's the answers that I just said and written. Hablaré, nadará, viajaremos, and then diré. En resumen, so remember that there are two ways to express future tense. The most common error I see here in quarter 4 is students using the ir plus a, which is also totally correct. But for this particular course, we're wanting to see that you also know how to do the future tense ending conjugations. So remember, voy a nadar, I am going to swim. Nadaré, I am going to, I will swim, or I shall swim. And again, in this unit, the quizzes will ask you to use the future tense conjugations, not the ir plus a plus infinitive. Thank you so much for watching. And as usual, please send me a chat message or a message on my email if you need help with anything. We are here to help you succeed. Adios.